In today's video, I want to show you a comparison between the deep research function in Gemini and ChatGPT and answer the question, who has the better deep research? And while I was making the video or preparing the deep research, which is more precise, something happened that drove me crazy. It drove me insane. The moment it happened, I was so pissed. Excuse me. And maybe I should lay off the coffee, but I was so angry. And let me tell you right now, today's video has one clear winner. I'm not gonna tell you who it is, you're gonna have to watch. And the other one was so annoying to interact with. And I will explain everything in the video. And before we get down to the video, I would like to remind you that if there is any content that will help you make AI useful for yourself, please let me know down in the comments. I would love to make such content. Doesn't matter if it's a short video to show you a trick or a long guide that will send me down the research rabbit hole because I still don't have the answer, which is, by the way, the best case scenario, because here we are more than just a channel. We are a community. In a community, we communicate, we do AI tube. So let me know down in the comments and subscribe, join the community. You ready? Who has the better deep research, Gemini or ChatGPT? Let's find out. Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome for the first time. My name is Dan, but you can also call me Mr. Roth, and I bring you the information needed so you can make AI useful for yourself. And today, to make AI useful for yourself, we are going to compare two deep research functions, Gemini, which I've been starting to use much more lately, or ChatGPT that I've been using since day one. And from the beginning, this is what you see, these two. And I know you can't read anything, you're probably watching it on your phone and you want to see what's going on. And we will see in a moment, everything. You're not supposed to be able to read. I'm just showing you stuff, here, two comparisons. But let's begin on everything and explain. Because we need to stop, hold and explain, because today I'm trying to show you a comparison that will be somewhat reliable information and won't be biased, mostly based on memory, because the memory that the chat has on me is immense. I've been using ChatGPT since day one, paying for it. So if I will ask the chat to run a deep research about AI terms, which is today's subject, we will see the prompt in a moment, it will give me a different answer than if I would open a new ChatGPT, subscribe, and then send it to a deep research, because it has information on me and it makes the answer biased, for better or worse. We don't know, but probably for better, right? But in today's video, we want the info to be reliable. So I tried the trick. Can I tell you that it was successful? No, but something else happened, which made everything, which got us a clear winner. Again, I know, thrillers. Let's see. Let's start by looking at the prompt, and then we will see how the deep research workflow works for each AI, and then we will compare between the two. Anything else that I wanted to tell you guys? Yes, something else. I'm here to show you the results. Later, you will decide who is better for you. Which one? ChatGPT or Gemini? Up to you. I'm just here to show you the comparison. So let's get down to business. You want to start with who? With the black or the white? Let's start with the black. This isn't chest. So this is Gemini. The Gemini here is the Pro plan. Also, ChatGPT is the Plus plan. Two chatbots, $20 each. So we're not using the Gemini Ultra or OpenAI Pro. And this is today's prompts. Can you see it? You cannot see it. Let's close that. Let's look here. And this is the prompt. It's a very general prompt on purpose, because one of the ways that we are comparing and seeing who has the better Deep research is by giving liberties. The way you give liberties is with very general prompt and non-specific prompt. So I told Gemini and ChatGPT, I want to understand AI better, which communicates with Thursday's video, which we will go over AI terms to understand them better. Please do a deep research, which is funny to say, that will explain AI terms for someone who doesn't know much about AI besides using chatbots, LLMs, which is Gemini and OpenAI. And here I try to make Gemini and ChatGPT to ignore all of the previous information that they have on me by telling them ignore all previous interactions and history. Treat this as a completely new conversation with no prior context. Now, can I promise you that this prompt line works? I cannot. To see if it works, you need to do a research of running a couple of thousand, not thousands, dozens of deep research to see the difference between, but it's the best we have without opening 2 new accounts, which is, it's easier to write the prompt line, okay? This is what we gave Gemini. We gave ChatGPT the exact same thing. And when we are talking about, or when we are thinking about judging, when we want to judge, thank you. When we want to judge who gave us the better answer, and if you want, just for the sake of it, I will go to ChatGPT and show you it's the same one. By the way, I copied and I pasted. I don't know why here it was more structured than in Gemini. I just copied from Gemini and pasted here. And before we are getting into the workflow, which you can already see, the deep research here ask questions, and in Gemini it gives you a plan, which is absolutely stunning. We're looking for terms, general terms in basic, to understand basic AI are terms like artificial intelligence, machine learning, algorithm, and training data. These are the most basic, and we want to see if that's what they bring and how they explain them. Now, if you're worried that this video will be too long, well, what can I tell you? I don't know how long it is. I'm recording it. You're already watching it. And that was done with Claude. You see? No, you can't really see. But this infographic was done with Claude on purpose because I didn't want to enter the data into Gemini or ChatGPT and maybe turn the deep research towards a certain place. So let's start and see the workflows between the two. And let's start with ChatGPT because it's easier, it's shorter. When you enter ChatGPT prompt for the deep research, doesn't matter what prompt you will enter, it immediately gives you a few questions. Sorry, my brain shut off for a moment. Immediately it gives you a few questions. It asks what level of depth you're aiming for: friendly, beginner friendly, intermediate, technical. Should the focus be mostly terms related to AI in general? And would you like it structured? Do you want example and or analogies to make it clearer? Now, what are my answers? They will make a lot of difference between the comparison as well. So how do you know what to answer? Well, the answer is that before I ran ChatGPT, I actually did Gemini. And when I did Gemini, I just pressed, it gave me the work program, and then you can edit it, as you can see here. But I didn't edit it, I just sent start because I wanted to give it liberties. So I've decided in ChatGPT to also just give very short answers. But, you know, if it's a strong point for a strength point, a plus for ChatGPT to ask the questions, well, I should answer them. I will try to answer them. Yes, still a bit more general, but if it's something that we have, we should give it a point and see. So I want it beginner friendly. When it comes to focus more on terms or what's going on under the hood, well, it's both. I don't know what to decide. How do we want it? I want it a tutorial. And do you want examples? I want examples. And then it went on to do the research 8 minutes, 30 sources, and 88 searches. Just to understand the times between them, that was 8 minutes. Gemini was done in about 2, which is wow. That is the beginning for ChatGPT. Let's go to Gemini. You remember we are here. Research completed. We still don't know what the research yield. We're going to see how the Gemini workflow looks like. Prompt. Now Gemini gives you a very long plan, research plan. You can analyze, and then it gives you the research plan, and then you can analyze results, and create report. Ready in a few minutes. It was about 2. It doesn't say for how long it took. Here, it's this one. That is very tiring to read and to edit and to see. Provide a high-level definition of artificial intelligence, such as machine learning, natural language processes, computer vision, robotics. The problem here with what we're seeing is that if I am a beginner, that I only use chatbots, I don't know what the hell you want from me. I can't really edit it and do something with it, and it's confusing. And someone who might feel the urge to edit things here, might be how do you say, shooting yourself in the leg. It's a phrase. I don't know how to translate it well. You let me know in the comments. But it's like shooting yourself in the leg. And then we have defined the core concepts again. So the fact that you can edit it, well, you don't really have to. I think it's a bit confusing, and I think it's not concise enough. And you're thinking, Idan, it's not supposed to be concise. You asked for a deep research. Yeah, but I want it to be user-friendly because I want to know what's going on. And that confuses me. For better and for worse. Maybe I got a better response. I just know that I don't really have something. I can't really... I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. Just a bit confusing. But it's good. It's not that it's bad. It's just okay, let's do it by points. Wasn't planning on it because I just wanted to show you, but let's do it by points. I said that your job is to decide, but I'm gonna change that and give it points. That is +1 for me. That's better. When it comes to workflow before the research starts, my opinion, questions like that better because it takes the prompt into context. Here, it doesn't take the prompt into context. Cool. It's nice. Now we get into the deep dive. This is where I'm going to split screen, and it will take me a moment, if I may. Like that. Boom, boom. Nice. We said 80 minutes, 30 sources, 88 searches. Now, there are a lot of parameters you can look. By the way, if someone wants the deep researches, let me know. I'll send them to you. There are a lot of things that you can take in, parameters that you can think of here that are more than what we're going to read. The sources. Which sources? Are they reliable? Nah, it's referenced here. Nice. Gemini. Is it their sources? Are they reliable? They are not referenced. They are not referenced. Can you see? You can see enough to understand what you're talking about. Not referenced. Where are they? They are down here. First of all, look at the amount of information. By the way, that's not what made me angry. I know you're thinking, Dan, why are you angry? Don't worry, in a moment. We have Meng, Coursera, Google Cloud, Wikipedia. But for what? Gemini? For what? What are you using each source from? Sources read but not used in report. You have more. But I don't know which one is used where. I don't know. Maybe I can prompt it, To be fair, maybe we could prompt it. Put a reference near each data point. But again, we wanted to see something that is very basic, very give me info. What is used where? You know where is that very problematic? All of that for who? For lawyers and academics. If you just want some data and you don't need to check the viability of the data, that's great. If you're an academic and a lawyer and you need that for referencing, or you're someone who has a thing for data points and referencing, which is like me, that is problematic. But look here, thank you very much, ChatGPT. Thank you very much. Here we have the referencing, which is very, very good. But now let's see something before we start getting into the data and actually see what's happening. Here in Gemini, you see that I have tons of data. Tons, just a ton. Look at how much. ChatGPT, it's 1, 2, 3, we're done. And it's not that it's not good enough. Maybe it is, and you know what? I don't think it's good enough. But why did that happen? Why here it's so little and here it's so much? I will tell you right now. If you look here at the deep research, and this is what drove me crazy. If you look here at the deep research and you put your finger on it, and I zoom in and I zoom out so you can see it, you can see that for Idan's ChatGPT Plus Deep Research, he has 14 uses left. 14. But when I started working on the deep research so I can make the video, now I don't have the message because I don't know, maybe it's nowhere live and he doesn't want us to show the message, but I will go to my X page because I posted on it because it drove me crazy. If you go here, this is the message that I got. Your remaining queries, 13 in number, are powered by a lighter version of Deep Research. Why? How? How dare you upgrade for your full access research on September? Upgrade to ChatGPT Pro to continue using? Since when? Since when ChatGPT Pro gives you better deep research? It gives you, usually before ChatGPT 5, it gave you more deep research, not better deep research. And then I go, and then I go here and I go to the upgrade plan and I go and I look at the Pro and I see that they say, yeah, let's do it like that. They say maximum deep research and agent mode. What do you mean maximum? What do you mean maximum? I'm not getting something. I'm getting crap. Expanded and where is it? Expanded deep research and agent mode compared to the free plan. Expanded? Before GPT-5, it was just the number of research that you can do. And now, when I have 13 queries left, this is what I get? I get a lighter version of deep research? Minus 500 points, right there. Minus 500 points. I understand if you don't want to keep watching because you already understood what I think who is the better research, which is, by the way, don't go yet because that doesn't mean that it's better because we still have explanations and context and see what's going on, but I'm disappointed. It's driving me crazy. I'm paying and I'm getting a lesser product. By the way, just to see, I wasn't planning on it, but I think it's interesting because now things connect. Here, I told you I like to research stocks with deep research to see what the companies are doing and how they are. Look at the difference here. Look how much I am going up. Look at the size. Look at the size here. Between that and that, you know what? We're going to do it side by side. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I love it when we go free, doing free stuff. There we go. Yeah. You see the difference? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you know what? Maybe when it comes to context length and the depth of the explanation, when you have your first queries, maybe ChatGPT is okay. But after how much was it? How much do we get? We get 25 or 30? After 10, 15? It means that if you use one a day, so the first half of the month you have a proper deep research for your money, and afterwards, hey, go. And it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You're giving me 3,000 GPT-5 message limits rates in a week, but you're taking deep research away from me, which is one of the best features that we want. What the hell? And I'm also getting a lesser version because apparently Pro has a better one. And you know what? That's fine. The Pro guys pay more, but that difference, that's not okay. That is just not okay. And I know that the comparison now, after we know that it's a lighter version, hey, Dan, it's not fair because it looks like Gemini does what deep research of ChatGPT does when you have it on full mode. But what can I do? This is what you pay for. This is what you get. If you use 510, that's it. What, you move to Gemini? By the way, I checked. In the AI Ultra in Gemini, they don't say that you get a better deep research. They don't say it. You get much more limits, you get better Gemini, but they don't state anything about the deep research. But we still looked at the depth of the explanation in terms of context and not the explanation itself. We looked at the source referencing. Now let's look on how the AI explains everything. So ChatGPT has a very good personality when it comes to explaining stuff. And Gemini, well, he's a dumb robot. He's a very good dumb robot, but sometimes he doesn't understand that humans are humans. So if we just look at the first one, and I remind you just for a second, because I went to a spin-off here, that we're looking to get at least that at the beginning. This is something that we should get at the beginning. This is the foundation, essential concepts you need to know if you are interested in AI. So artificial intelligence, what is AI? And Gemini starts with the recent proliferation of highly capable chatbots. That is academic writing, by the way, if you're not familiar. That is how academics write. They say the recent proliferation of this is how they start. It's it's disgusting. I hate it. So first of all, chat here is more human. What is AI? Artificial intelligence means making computer do things that normally require some human smarts. In other words, AI systems can solve problems, recognize speech, or play games. Nice. Gemini, the recent proliferation of highly capable chatbots, has provided many with their first direct interactive experience with advanced intelligence AI, engaging conversation with large language models. I know I'm reading it, and if you're feeling bored, it's because I'm also feeling bored from how he wrote it. Section 1, the landscape of artificial intelligence. To truly understand artificial intelligence, look how much info that I didn't read because I lost Gemini in the first 3 sentences. And don't lie, it happens to you too. You start reading what they say. If it's not relevant, if it's not engaging, you are just letting it go. You're not reading. You might even write another prompt on top of it, but you are not reading. You can't fool me. I know that you can't see it very well, but trust me, I'm reading. It's even maybe can a podcast out of it. And so section 1, the landscape of artificial intelligence. To truly understand artificial intelligence, one might first appreciate its breadth. What does it have to do with anything? This is, by the way, based on our prompt, which is explained to me AI for beginners. This is how Gemini thinks it should explain AI. I don't know what to think about it. I'm reading here and I'm trying to find a place of, something. This is where the 1 second people, here are the references. At the ending of each. Here, after, first of all, he should put them here, but there are few references here at the in the paragraphs, but still, what is where still I'm not giving you back the point. I am absolutely not. So Gemini is boring. It's boring and it's off subject a bit. I don't we still don't have. There we go. Only after something that will take a few minutes of read, we have the first title that says something of what is artificial intelligence is at its core. Artificial intelligence is a field of science dedicated to building compute machines, that can reason, learn, and act in ways. And ChatGPT here explains it differently. What is AI? Artificial means making computers do things that normally humans do. It's the same concept that would normally require human intelligence. Same concept. Chatty with its personality takes the win on that one. When I say on that one is when we talk about how you explain. Takes the win for me. If you think that is not taking the win for you, that is fine. But all of that comes, it doesn't come, but when there is reading and there is, did you see the fly? There is reading and there is actually consuming the information. What it came out wrong. You can read or you can consume the information otherwise. You can take the deep research and put it in NotebookLM. If you remember, that's not what I want. That's the one. Here in Gemini, we can create web page, infographic, quiz, audio overview. Wow. Now, we can also export, copy content, and then we go to NotebookLM, which is a trick that I like to show you guys all the time. What happened here? NotebookLM. We go to NotebookLM, create a new notebook, copy text. Did I copy the text? I did not. What is that number? I copy the contents and that is, I copy the contents. You see me clicking? You see? Click, 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 click. Whoopa. Wow. Whoa. And I insert. And now after I have the contents, I can generate an audio overview, which is a podcast. And you know what? I will hear the podcasts and I will tell you which one is better between ChatGPT and Gemini. But reading, I'm telling you right now that Chatty, look. When I started this video, I wanted to name Gemini as the winner. Now that I'm actually reading it with you, and I read it a little bit before, I'm reading it with you. Chatty with the personality and the way that it explains things. If you're reading, Chat just took it away. And by the way, maybe you're thinking in ChatGPT, there is the new study and learn, which we want you to make a video about, and I will. So why didn't you use the study and learn? Because we're looking at the deep research. So here Chatty explains on machine learning. You remember our infographic? I know if you're not, because the video is already a bit long and we will wrap it up in a moment. Machine learning, look, it's precisely the same flow. Remember, chat did not receive this information. I thought about all of the concepts with Grook and generated the infographic with Claude. So Chatty now gives us machine learning from data. A major way to build AI via a machine. And Gemini here just mumbling away. Now that Gemini, we see that maybe everything is not as, just because it's longer doesn't mean it's better, but it gives us a bit more. On the one end of the spectrum, it's the functional goal, creating technologies that enable computers to perform advanced function like seeing. The spectrum of intelligence, from narrow to general minds. A common source of confusion surrounding AI is the failure to distinguish between the systems that exist today and those that are purely theoretical. It's a common source? Where? Gemini. Artificial narrow intelligence. Artificial general intelligence. You didn't talk about machine learning, did you? We can check. By the way, here in Gemini, which is something nice, you have contents. Did you talk? But machine? How do you write machine? Machine learning. Introduction. Machine. Opa. Okay, it's in the introduction, the subfields like machine learning. Here. And the critical role of data, the key branches, application including natural language processing. Here are all of the terms, but it doesn't explain the terms. It takes forever. So Gemini here is just mumbling away. It's off point, or maybe it's not to the point as you might want it to be. And maybe everything is just biased towards ChatGPT. I mean, ChatGPT gives those answers because it has more information about me. And when you're talking about customization, because some of you might say, Idan, listen, if you go here to the customization tab, it has customization on you, so, and you know, he knows what you like, so how can you compare? Well, I remembered that it has that. So what I did, I went to Gemini. Welcome to my computer. I went to, let's just go back to Gemini because I don't know where you went. I went to Gemini, I went to saved info, and I entered everything. I really tried to make it as unbiased from the AI as I could. As you can see during the video, I flipped. I really wanted to crown Gemini and just flipped in the middle. I am still angry for that. I am still angry about it. I am still angry about it. As you can see, I'm also getting tired. I'm sure you are tired. Did you get enough information to see who has the better deep research? Remember, it's up to you, what you like, what you need, if you're an academic, maybe Gemini is better because it gives you the information in an academic way, and then you might be able to use it. If you're just someone who wants to understand something, ChatGPT might be better for you, because I might be whining about the fact that it's shorter, but it is more concise, more to the point. If we even continue down here with chat, we see that we get deep learning. The structure is much better also now when we think about it. Deep learning, large language models, AI in everyday life, chatbots. And if we wanted to, we could continue with our research. You decide who's the winner here. I hope you got some value out of this video. I know it was messy, but that's the thing when you compare these things. It's messy because it's personal. It depends on what is useful for you. And eventually, if by the end of it, you're going to put it in a NotebookLM to hear a podcast, well, maybe both of them are great, and maybe Gemini is better because it's the podcast makes it very engaging. And Gemini did give a lot of information outside just those straight terms that, that ChatGPT gave. Eventually, what Chat talked about, it's here. You have AGI. It's not in the order that you might think. Here you see the machine learning. It gives much more context, much more information. Might be for the worse sometimes, because sometimes you need to start small and grow from there. You decide. Let me know in the comments. And if you want a part 2 because some things are missing and you want to check more stuff, let me know down in the comments. I really enjoyed seeing what happened here. I hope you also enjoyed. Consider subscribing. Give me a thumbs up if you would like to. I will see you the next time. 35 minutes. Woo! Until next time, till the next video. Bye-bye. On Thursday, we're going to go over these terms. Remember. That was the wrong one. That was the entry. There is a much nicer one on the way out.